So you go into surgery immediately.
Immediately.
Yeah, and then you wake up from surgery, and this I'm guessing this is what Sunday, late Sunday
Yep.
now, early Sunday. Game was on Saturday night,
Yep.
and what's the first thing you do when you wake up and out of the surgery and you're conscious? Like who are you looking for? Who are you talking to? What are you thinking about? Or like what's going on in your mind?
So when I came out of surgery, there was a lot of people coming into the room, checking on me, and mother crying, and Coach Foreman asked me a question, like, Ink, how you doing? And to be honest, I don't even know how I responded this way, but this is what I said. And they did a newspaper article on it. I was like, Coach, I'm good, man. I'm blessed, And I was sitting there because after that surgery, they found out that I had torn the nerves in my brachial plexus, because when they were in repairing the artery, they had to pull it back. And when they pulled it back, they
what
saw
is
the
brachial
nerves.
plexus?
Your
It
brachial
sounds
plexus,
like a dinosaur. Or
right, right. It's the nerve roots that go from your spine and basically controls your shoulder, your arm, and your hand, and your fingers.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
the way we move our shoulder, arm, hands, and fingers, that's the nerve roots that come from our spine. And so most people stretch them.
Yep.
I had torn them out, and so they couldn't be replugged. And so they gave me that news later that day as well. And
so you didn't know it initially?
No.
Okay.
No. So I guess they wanted me to soak in what had happened that night.
Yeah.
Then later on, gave me the next batch of news.
Yeah, and so then with that news, then are you still thinking you could play? Like, are you still thinking like, okay, heal this up, get my brachial plexus all right back, and we'll be out there, maybe next season. I'll be ready by the draft, or like what's going through your mind at this point?
It was surreal. I didn't believe it. Right? And the reason I didn't believe it, like, see, I had been working, man, from 7 with my mother. You know what I'm saying? Like in the park, moments that I still get emotional when I talk about it because it's real to me. Like moments in the park that people didn't see. You know what I'm saying? Like my mother getting off work. I remember my mom saving up checks to buy me my first pair of Nike Vapor cleats. You know what I'm saying? So in a moment, making a tackle, you talking about all of that work and sacrifice gone? Like in the street, coach paying for it, like all of that, it could disappear in a moment. I'm like, man, this can't be real. That's why I told one of the docs, I'm like, man, no disrespect to you. I'm like, man, but you wasn't in that park with my mother. Like you wasn't waking up Saturday mornings running 2 miles to a fire station. I'm thinking hard work will solve it. I'm thinking I go to rehab, I get in the routine, I'll be back. Because I didn't think something could disappear that quick, that you had put so much work into. I didn't think life could redirect that quick, right? I thought it would be a process first. And so when it happened, it was still a feeling of, I'll be back.
And so this happens on a Saturday, and then, I mean, what? And so then, I guess, what was the point where you figured out that you weren't gonna play? Like when did you kind of did that take a long time? Was it months later before that would sink in, or
December?
Okay, so December, and then, but before we go to that, would you take off the rest of the school year? What happened?
No, sir.
Like, okay, so walk us through. Like Saturday, you're in the hospital for how long?
Yeah.
Like a day to a couple days.
I was back in class that week.
So you went back to class.
Yeah, that week.
That week.
Oh.
And back to practice too, or
you went back to practice.
Was everybody telling you like to go home?
Yeah, they told me go home.
Recover, rest. Why didn't you?
Because I made a vow, man, to my grandmother and my mother before I left Atlanta. I told them that I would graduate college. Like I told my grandmother that, told my mother that. And I didn't say I would graduate college if I didn't go through adversity. I didn't say I would graduate college if I didn't have an injury. Like it wasn't conditionalized. I just told them I would graduate college.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't any stipulations attached to that. And so if I almost lose my life, but I get another chance at life, I got to fulfill my vow and what I told them I would do. And so when I went back to class, it was about something greater than just football. When I went back to class, it was about something I told my mother and my grandmother, people that I got the ultimate amount of love and respect for. And so I went back to class. I had to learn how to write again. And some professors, they don't care for football players like that.
Right.
Because they feel as if cats got it gravy anyway. And so I'm in class. I got a sling on my arm, and I'm trying to learn how to write with my left, and I'm telling some of them, but some of them thinking like, oh, my man might just be trying to get over.
Right.
Like he got an injury. I'm like,
right,
nah,
right.
I might be out of there. Like I'm trying to, they like, nah, I need this 40-page paper.
Yeah.
I need this 30-page paper.
Mm-hmm.
If you got to go to disability services to get it done, go to disability services to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to disability services. I handled my business. I still graduated under 3, got my master's in 4.5.
So you said in December you realized that, okay, this I'm not gonna play again.
Absolutely.
And what was that moment like? And how did you come to that realization? Like,
Yeah.
why December? And like when? Like, okay, you were like, okay, this is because up to that point you had to be holding out hope that you'd be back on the field.
No question.
And so what was it? The doctors that came and were like finally had to tell you like, Ink, bro, this ain't getting ready to happen for real. Like we know you got heart. We know you're gonna work your butt off.
Yeah.
But you're not getting back on that field.
Absolutely. And people have been trying to lay it on me easy,
Mm-hmm.
but I had to go to the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, which is supposed to be one of the top hospitals in the world. And so with having to go there, this was when they had to do the major surgery. And 3 doctors walked in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And they was like, listen, man, like they already sensed my spirit. I was up there a couple of days prior to the surgery.
Right.
And so they know I'm in the room like,
right.
Man,
Telling
it's
everybody
whatever.
I'll be back. Right.
They reporters call. I'm like, yeah, man, I'll be back. So
Mm-hmm.
they know like, oh, this cat, he on that. He gonna come back. And they came in like, man, it's over. Like 3 doctors. It's over. Here's why it's over. We're gonna do a surgery, try to get you just back to normal living with your arm to where you can lift certain things, to where you can grab certain things, but it'll probably never be the same. Here's what we gotta do in the surgery. And so when that happened, I walked out of the room after my meeting with the doctor, bro. I didn't even make it back to my hotel room. Right? I stopped in the hallway and I sat down and I put my back against the wall, and it was like somebody just knocked the air out of me. Because in that moment, it was finally real. And I had to face what I had been not wanting, not thinking to be true.